So as Nation of Sleepers is starting to grow, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself and why I feel that I can add some value at this time when our country feels completely lost. So my father served in the Parachute Regiment in the British Army, and he deployed to Northern Ireland in the 1970s, and anyone that knows that military history will know it was a pretty testing time. But I grew up watching what duty, sacrifice and loyalty actually looked like, and so that example inspired me in turn to join the army myself. And I had great privilege in attending the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, the motto of which is serve to lead. That wasn't just a slogan to us, it was a way of life, and it still is. I was at college when 9/11 happened, and like many people, I was watching it unfold on TV, as I did with the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. But I knew that when my time came, I would join the army and want to do my bit. I wanted to be leading men in combat rather than watching others go in my place. And so I joined an infantry regiment, and that's exactly what I did. I went to Iraq and then twice to Afghanistan. But the most pertinent operational tour was 2010. It was a summer tour in Afghanistan, and my unit alone suffered a 50% casualty rate, 14 men killed, and I was personally involved in 4 separate IED blasts, any of which could have killed me and the men around me. And I also remember very vividly receiving young 18 battle casualty replacements off a helicopter. They'd come straight from Cyprus as soon as they turned 18, and we would take them straight out on operations, and they were deers in headlights. I was thinking, how will they ever get over this? But we were all told that we were defending the West against Islamic terrorism. And whether we believed every political justification or not, we were there. We were prepared to sacrifice our lives for our nation. Many didn't come home, and the rest of us, who either came home injured or traumatised in some way, carried with us something that will never leave us. And throughout that time, I worked very closely with the Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as the Danes, the Kiwis and others. And all of the other nations that were part of the coalition that worked with my friends, they've all had the same sentiment, which is that very strong bonds were forged. We would attend repatriations at Camp Bastion together, and those images would have stayed with me for the rest of my life. But despite everything, we all believed that we were doing something that mattered. We believed that we were protecting our people, our families. Even if many back home didn't even know or care what we were doing, we had their backs. So when I returned home, I was diagnosed with permanent severe PTSD. And so for the last 10 years, basically have spent it rebuilding my life. First of all, getting over the trauma, and then finding a new career, and so on and so on. And I've helped a lot of veterans. I've run a couple of social enterprises, helping people into work through trauma, through the long process of healing. And throughout all of this, I've always thought about the mothers. Mothers